What's up, boys? So again, I've been neglectant of showing all the games for the Las Vegas Open, which happened like a month ago. I'm sorry about that, guys. I've been kind of focused on like streaming on Twitch and stuff, but yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to show you guys the game, third game, so number 3, and currently I'm still sitting in the front, where I'm kind of like, it's cool. It's cool. It's just got the DGT boards and everything. And even Brian Tillis, one of the authors of Chessable, he came, like, I talked to him at the Chessable thing because he was sitting in like a Chessable convention. I was just talking to him, asking him what he was there for. And he came up to me on like where I was in the front, and he looked at me and he looked surprised, and then he gave me a thumbs up, and I was just like, oh, thank you. Thank you, Brian. So, um, I'm the white pieces, and my opponent is like around. I believe he's like around 1600. I don't necessarily remember. Um, but here I do something very very bad, very very bad by me. But you guys will see. So I play e4, and he plays the Scandinavian. Of course, I don't remember any lines. Like I don't remember the main lines of the Scandinavian, especially Queen a5, which I don't have that good of an idea. Now I do. Um, Now I'm supposed to play knight f3. I just didn't like bishop g4, so I always hold off. But actually, I'm supposed to play knight f3, and if they played bishop g4, I'm supposed to play like something like h3, bishop to h5, g4. Actually, yeah. And then after bishop to g6, I play knight e5, and the idea is that after I play h4, threatening to trap the bishop, something like h6, then I take. Now his damage structure, he has an isolated pawn, and that's the reason why it's I should be playing something like that, but I didn't during that time because I always thought that bishop g4 would just be bad. So I played bishop c4, and he plays c6, which is a strange move again because I just thought like maybe bishop f5 or something else, but here I'm just thinking, oh, he's just waiting for me to move my knight. So I play bishop to d2, and then now he plays queen c7. And again, there's no threat. There's no threat here. Knight d5, knight e4 isn't a big threat just because you always go to c7. So knight c7, queen c7 isn't a good move. And now I play queen e2. And queen e2 is preparing to castle, preparing to actually, when I go here, there's possibilities of even taking on f7 and taking on e6 if he plays e6. I've seen it before. So that was my idea behind that. And he plays bishop g4, and here I play f3, bishop to f5. And here, funny enough, I was in the game, I was looking at it, and I literally said in my head, I know g4 is the best move. But I just didn't know why. In my head, I'm just like, okay, if I play g4, he'll just take the pawn. But I know that's the best move because I've seen so many positions like this that it's obviously the best move, like knight h3, but I just didn't understand this whole structure, and I didn't like it. Also weakening my my queen side where I want a queenside castle. So instead, I just play bishop. Instead, I play bishop g5. The idea that not only am I defending the pawn, but now I'm bringing my bishop out, attacking the knight, and threatening to take, meaning that he would take with the g pawn. Also that, I would queenside castle, my rook's in the file, and it's no pieces in front of it except for the pawn on d4. And here, he plays knight b to d7, and I play g4. He plays bishop to g6, and here I play knight h3. A cute idea just to try to develop everything. And the idea was knight f4, trying to get this bishop out because I think that bishop is very strong. Or even bishop to f4 could be a possibility in the future. He queensides, and now I play bishop knight f4. And I had a few ideas. I was even thinking about playing f4 here, f4 with f5. But the thing is just like, because in my head I'm like, oh, you just trapped your bishop, and I don't know what the heck happened. But then once I saw, wait, he plays e6, and I'm like, now f4 looks kind of dumb because like my knight's supposed to go there, my bishop's supposed to go there. It just doesn't look that smart. So instead I played knight f4 because I thought my knight on h3 is a bad piece and I want to take on g6, and I took on g6. I queenside, and now he played to bishop to d6. And now this just moves. This looks like just a development move. It's not doing anything. I just thought, oh, he's threatening like bishop check, bishop takes, queen takes. That sucks. So I want to prevent that with knight to e4, and I'm a potato because I did not realize that the bishop was attacking the h2 pawn. So I just lost a pawn. And remember, guys, this is a classical, so it's like I just lost a pawn for no reason. And the idea was that if you were to check me, I was just gonna move my king, and if you take, then I take, and I'm attacking this pawn on f7. But he just sat there, looked at me, and then he just took with the bishop. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm such a potato. I was so mad. I was so mad. And here I was sitting there, good like 10 minutes of just me trying to control my anger at myself, because I was just like thinking, how can I just lose a pawn for no compensation, no reason whatsoever? I sat there, tried to keep my bearings, and instead I was just like, okay, let me just move. I thought and I kept thinking, okay, what can I do? What's the best move here? And unfortunately, king b1 is the best move. And I did king b1, but you don't want to do king b1 when you just lost a pawn. All right, guys? And now he plays bishop f4, and then I take the rook. And here, I just take the knight takes, and here I do queen to d3, and here I'm praying. I'm just praying he does not do knight d5. He doesn't do knight d5. It's just not a fun position. He doesn't need to trade. He can bring his knight over here. It's just a good position, but if he were to take the knight, maybe I have some compensation because I have some good solid squares, because this pawn right here on f3 is specifically kind of very weak. And instead he takes, and I was just like, okay, I'm still in this game. I need to focus, and I said it in my head, any GM could win this position. If he can do it, I can do it. So he proceeded to play g5, and now when I saw g5, I'm like, okay, this is cementing the bishop, but the thing is, I can play e5, and now the bishop doesn't have a lot of squares. The only square is this and this, and it's still annoying. It's a very annoying bishop, but I just limited the bishop a little bit, and now I'm maybe possibly looking to go to the queen side with this open file and the rook file. And now he plays rook d8. I play rook to e1 because he's threatening bishop takes e5 like a cheeky man that he is. So I have to prevent that. And now he plays queen to a5. And here I'm just thinking, why don't you just play c5? I thought c5, c3, queen b3, and I mean maybe rook e4, but still this position is just dire. This position is just dire for me. I can't do anything. But here instead he just does queen a5, which I'm fine with. I'm like, okay, I'll play c3, and then I'm still looking at c5. c5 is such a good move because it breaks open the center. He's opening it up, and I'm like, what do I do? Do I play queen e4? Do I just give up a pawn? I don't know. And instead, I just put he plays queen a5 and then queen b6, which made no sense to me whatsoever. Why would you play queen to a5 just to play queen b6? And now I'm starting to realize, okay, maybe I can win this. But by the way he's playing, it's not very, I would say not very educated, because it just doesn't make any sense. Queen a5, queen b6 didn't do anything, actually improve my position, where you could have just played queen b6 off the bat, force me to play c3, and notice that this is the same exact position, except it's black to move, where here, same position, it's for me to move. Now I play queen e4. The idea is to bring my rook on h1, infiltrate on the queen side, maybe snag a pawn, maybe get a dub, I don't know. And he plays rook h8. And here I play rook h1, and unfortunately I do have to play that because I have to take control of something. And we take, and here I was considering, okay, if I play queen h7, then he plays queen to f8, and now he's threatening to play to threatening to play c6 or c5 to break down the center, and I just keep looking at that, and I do not like that move. So in my head, I just thought, oh, I'm a genius. I play queen h5. Funny enough, this is the computer best move. And when he plays g6, I play queen to h6 to preventing this, preparing it to queen g7. Unfortunately, I missed that he has bishop takes e5 here. And if I take, he checkmates, which really sucks and wouldn't be cool. But he didn't. He missed it and he played c5. And now when I saw c5, I was just like, wait a minute. After queen b7, I think I have some chances. I think I have like some possibilities. And he takes. And now when I saw that takes, I was like, okay, I can secure a draw, but I want more. Even though I blundered a full pawn and moved like 12, I still wanted to win the game. And I took. He takes. Now I take with check. And now he's threatening some cheeky mates. And here I play bishop to d5, threatening checkmate. And what I saw was queen b3. And unfortunately, I was looking at, okay, if I check, he goes here, and if I check, the pawn is hanging on e5, so I gotta keep checking. And I feel like this would be a draw, but then I'll be like, okay, I would use the rest of my remaining time to see if g6 would be a possible variation that I can go into, which might be, but I was kind of scared because, like, I mean, I'm one move away from mate. There's so many checks everywhere, and it's kind of hard to calculate all that, and if you're going to be okay. And here, instead, he plays c2, and I just look at him like, what are you on about? What are you doing? You're throwing. So, I take. He does queen c8. And now I do king to d3. He takes the pawn, and now he's threatening the pawn on b2. And here, it's pretty funny what I did. I thought, okay, what if I bring my king to e4? And the idea was that if I bring my king to e4, he's not going to have any checks. We're going to have a good time. And I believe it was this. I believe it was queen e4. I think it was queen e4, but the thing I saw was oh, no. What I saw was this. Bishop takes on b7. And if queen takes, then I have queen check. King like moves or queen blocks, and then I take. I also saw this as well, but I didn't think this was fine just because it looked a little drawish. I also saw after bishop takes, I saw queen to c5. Oh, sorry. Queen to c5. And this did not look fun. I was just like, I don't know if I can, like, this looks like a draw, if not losing for me. So then I thought, okay, if I take and he has queen c5, why can't I prevent it? So my genius idea, my big brain idea was like, b4. I'm so smart. And then he does this, queen check. And then I looked at it and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm a potato. I literally just let him go in, slide in there. Just slide in the DMs, right? And here I'm just like, I offered him a draw here because I was just like, okay, this probably is a draw. And at the end of the day, it looks like I might just lose here if I don't pay attention. And he said no, obviously. And I do king e2. King e2 because I don't want to go queen e4 because I believe there's possible mates somewhere. Or maybe even queen checks, or I don't know. But he keeps checking me. And I just keep moving. And it reminds me of the SpongeBob, hold on. I need to look it up. I need to look up the SpongeBob, run in song. It's like, da-na-da-na. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I have ads. But practically right now, I'm kind of just hoping. And the thing is, if he were to check me here, I would just move probably over here. Gotta be careful with mate though, because I don't wanna go here and just lose with check. But thing is, I wouldn't trade the queens because this might be a losing position. Um, but this was the song I was thinking about. Oh, so the whole time I was just like moving around, and that's literally in the game. I was just thinking that, and I was like, dang. And here I'm just seeing that's a draw because anything he does, I'm just gonna have like anything he prepares to checkmate. I just have mate on g7. So now he kind of forces me to lose the pawn, unfortunately. And he takes, and I'm just like, okay, this is sad. And I'm trying to process the fact that I'm a draw. It's gonna be a draw. And the thing is, if I go here, I did see this, and I thought this check. And if I go down here, then he picks up my bishop. So I saw that, so I couldn't do that, and at the same time, I'm also threatening checkmate, so I just gotta focus on just surviving. He checks me here, and this is just getting very, very dicey. But the thing is, he doesn't have checkmate neither here nor there. This would be a scary checkmate if my queen wasn't here. But he checks me, and now he checks me on g1, and I go up. And here, I literally said in my head, man, it would be cool if he played g4, because g4 would actually be a bad move by him. Because I would eventually win it. And he does, and I'm just like, oh, great. I'm pretty happy about that. And then I go here, because I'm gonna win the pawn. Wherever he does, like, he has to check me. I'm gonna win the pawn, regardless. But now, I also said in my head, man, it would be great if he did something like bishop e3. Bishop e3 would lose the game. And I was just like, all right, Kev, stop thinking about hope chess. Actually start calculating. Stop calculating like these dumb moves that would never happen. And then, to my surprise, he plays bishop e3. And the problem with bishop e3 is that this queen has to give a check, but as well simultaneously defend the bishop on e3, because the reason is that if he doesn't do a check, then I have checkmate on b7. And here I just do queen e4, and I mean, a move like queen to f2 just runs into checkmate. I don't even need a trade. Or queen b3, I just win the bishop. And here he thought for a bit, and he looked at me, and he offered me a draw. And I said, what did I say? I said, you had your chance. And then he seemed pissed off when I said that. And I took the bishop, and then I'm just like, okay, I just gotta focus. I gotta focus. And I was at the point where I was like, literally, like here, I was at the point where I was just like, I'm kind of tired. I'm just gonna start moving, because like I was so tired of calculating every little tiny intricacy. The only thing was that I just need to make sure not to go on dark squares. But here, he checks, I take, and I bring my king over. I bring my pawns, and the problem here, I should have played h5, but I just thought, okay, if I trade more pawns, it gives less possibility of me winning the game. So I played g4. The idea of bringing my king over to c6, down to c4, and preparing a5, which I could have done should have just done. And here it was just like, it's gonna be a little bit hard. And here he just made it easier for me. Here he just does this, where I think if he had moved somewhere here, I would have just went here. And I would have went, I believe, down in here. And I think I would be fine. But here he just does a6, and I just like, I just win everything. I go like threatening a draw here, but I do c6. And if you take, I just have a bishop, so I have opposition the whole time. And here he just resigns. And I like to do like percentages from like chess.com, like review like how accurate I was in the game. And this was surprisingly one of my more accurate games, which I felt like probably shouldn't deserve. But here it said I had an 89.1% accuracy rate, while my opponent had an 80.3% accuracy rate, which it's crazy because like that was a 10% difference where I felt like it was a 10% difference, but we had a draw for like the majority of the game. So you can just see that um with nearly not even like with more than 10% play, you might be able to win a game when you're down upon straight out of the opening. But yeah, this was my third game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna definitely try to make the fourth game a lot more quicker and just upload it a lot more quicker. Sorry about the wait, guys, but yeah. If you guys have any questions, just leave comments and subscribe.